Hello everyone and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. In the last episode, the Rockies hit a cold spell immediately following their hot streak and are now below 500 once again, 34 and 38 on the season. We've officially hit June 15th, which means that we could trade any of the free agents that we signed this past offseason, and there are a few that maybe I would like to trade. My rules for trading these players is that they would need to go to a contender that has them as a position of need. So I have looked through teams that I have considered contenders, and that was actually a little bit ago, so I'll have to double check and make sure that those teams are actually still contenders. So that list includes the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Brewers. I know the Brewers are 2 games under 500, but they're actually only 4 games back of the Central Division lead, and there's half the season left. So I absolutely think that they're still a contender and maybe looking to buy to improve the team. In the NL East, there's the Phillies, the Braves, and the Marlins, which I actually hadn't considered before. The AL West, you got the Rangers, the Astros, and the Mariners. I did not include the Angels despite them being close to 500. In the AL Central, it's really just the Guardians and the Twins. In the East, it's going to be the Blue Jays, and I didn't consider the Red Sox, although they've been hot recently. I did consider the Yankees, however. So I think we're going to start this episode off with a bang, and we're going to trade Kevin Kiermaier. He is regressing a bit, but still a very good player with high discipline and a high OBP. He's got a 314 OBP. He is batting only a 244, so his value probably dipping a little bit. One team we could consider trading him to is the Yankees, who could absolutely use the upgrade at right field because currently they've got Stanton over there, and he is a terrible fielder, but has a ton of power. So Stanton could move to DHing, and Kiermaier could go play out in the field and be a high OBP guy. The Guardians, who are currently leading their division, definitely need help in the outfield, specifically center field, where Kiermaier plays, and they're willing to give us Howard Oliveros, who was, I think, the first overall pick in this past season's draft, and I don't think that makes a ton of sense. Even though they know his true peak is only 80 overall, I don't think that a team would that quickly give up on their first overall pick. But they did offer us Jacob Madsen, a 22-year-old B potential pitcher, and a couple of C potential prospects. He has 85 true potential, and they already have a ton of young pitching prospects, including Oliveros, who's not even in this top 5. But look at this top 5, AA, BB, A. So they're stocked up at pitcher for a long time, and Jacob Madsen is their lowest rated pitcher. I think I'm going to take this trade from the Guardians. It makes a lot of sense for both teams. We're not a contender, whereas the Guardians are 10 games above 500, currently winning their division. They don't need the young starting pitcher Jacob Madsen. We might, and then we also get 2 C potential prospects underneath it in return for a good center fielder that is going to help shore up their roster to make a World Series push. I think this trade makes a lot of sense for both the teams. Let's get it done. But Kevin Kiermaier, who we only signed for really half a season, has been officially traded away, and that brings us yet another pitching prospect. We've got a number of them now, and that's Jacob Madsen, 22 years old, B potential. He's gonna have to spend some time at single A. He's only a 60 overall, but he'll get there eventually, I'm sure. It also gives us another relief pitcher for the system, Doug Nikazi, I'm assuming is how you say this name. It's actually not bad. He does also have team control left, which is really cool to see. He has 25 though, so I don't know if he'll ever really make the major league team. Let's see what that C potential actually is. 73, so he might just be a permanent minor league guy, but you need those types in the system. And then the last guy was Gregory Cerna, who is a 45 overall right fielder. Really bad with the bat, really bad fielder. He's just fast, I guess, is why he's in the system at all. Looks really bad. 73 true potential. So he is a long ways away from being a contributor at the majors, but you never know, right? With these C potential guys, they could become contributors someday. Gregory Cerna will probably be close to 30 before he's ready, but I think it was worthwhile mostly for the starting pitcher prospect that we got. The other trade I want to make right now is Andrew Chafin for pretty much entirely the same reason. Chafin is a really good relief pitcher, but he's been absolutely pretty horrendous for us. An 8.3 ERA with a 2.2 whip. I think it is time to move on from him. I'm not sure why I gave him a 2-year contract looking back on it. And honestly, there's not a whole lot of good trades available for trading away Chafin, which makes a lot of sense. He's an older guy that is regressing and he's playing really, really terribly right now. So teams don't really want him. I think our best offer is probably this one from the Yankees. We acquire Rafael Guevara, who is a 21-year-old third baseman with B potential. He's only 47 overall. And we get another reliever, but he's only 55 overall. Man, these trades really stink. Well, I'm going to do this trade with the Yankees then, get Guevara and Yoendris Gomez, a relief pitcher that's 25 with C potential. Not a lot in return for Chafin, but I don't necessarily expect it to be. I know he's a high overall, but he's playing awful. So it makes sense that teams wouldn't want him if you look at it from a real life perspective. Trade is done. Let's go take a look at the new members of our team. So here's Yoendris Gomez. He's 25. I actually don't hate his pitching numbers considering he's only a 59 overall. His attributes are not bad. For some reason, he's on the MLB team right now. His true potential is 77. And then the other guy we got was third baseman Rafael Guevara, who is older and even slightly worse than Michael Link. Yeah, just really, really bad. Big time project. Hopefully his potential isn't like super low. Whoops, I accidentally changed his batting tendency. 82 potential. So it's not the worst. Long way to go for Guevara. He also has shortstop as a secondary position, but it's something in return for a really bad Andrew Chafin. Maybe he can turn things around with the Yankees. By the way, to show you I'm not BSing, the Yankees were genuinely awful at reliever. Like they had decent top 4-ish guys, but then everyone else was bad. So they really can use Chafin. So with Chafin gone, it opens up an MLB roster spot for relievers, of course. And that should probably go to Lucas Gilbreth, who has been owning at AAA, has a 0.3 ERA and a 0.8 whip with 30 innings pitched. So Lucas Gilbreth, welcome back to the MLB roster. And here's the question, who's our center fielder going to be? Is it Brenton Doyle? There's an argument that it probably should be, but look at his AA stats. He is batting a sub 190 at AA, has a 300 OBP to his credit, really bad at AA as a bat, like just horrible, awful. He's improving, but very slowly. I want to leave him down at AA for at least the rest of this season, which means that the person I am calling up is actually Jordan Beck. I think that Jordan Beck is at least a little bit more ready to hit at a major league level than Brenton Doyle. So welcome to the show, Jordan Beck. He'll wear the number 27, and now it's a matter of who starts in center field. Beck is a 62 fielder with 63 speed. I think it's probably going to be Fernandez. He's slightly faster and slightly better at fielding. Could have it be Verdugo, who is the best fielder of the three. So here's what we're going to do. Against right-handed pitching, Jordan Beck is going to be the DH. He's not going to lead off. Don't worry. I'm going to change things up. Yanquiel is going to play in left field. He is a slightly better fielder with a little bit more speed. And Verdugo will play center field. Francisco Mejia gets to move to be the leadoff guy. He just has the highest OBP of anyone left currently at a 321. Rogers is 319, but I like him in the 2 spot. Nolan is a 382 OBP. Should we consider maybe batting him number 1 in the future? I just think that his RBI capabilities in his clutch is far too high to have him number 1 in the lineup. Yanquiel we're going to leave at 4th, even though his numbers are dropping. Cohen is starting to climb, batting 5th with a 248 average and a 313 OBP. He, of course, has high discipline as well. Verdugo does have relatively high OBP, but I like where he's at in the lineup. And then it'll be Tovar at 7, Beck at 8, and Thompson at 9, at least against righties. Lefties is a different story. Rosario has been the one DHing, and I absolutely think he should still be DHing because he's playing incredibly well. Verdugo not the best against lefties. In fact, Jordan Beck better bat against lefties than Verdugo. So we're going to move Yanquiel to center against lefties, and Beck will play in left. We are just a team chock full of rookies. So here's the new lineup against lefties. I've got Rosario and Mejia as the top 2. They are both elite at contact against lefties and have relatively high OBPs this season. Nolan in the 3 spot, Brendan in the 4, Cohen in the 5, Yanquiel drops to the 6, Ezekiel Tovar in the 7, Beck in the 8, and Thompson in the 9. So did our team get worse? Absolutely, yes it did. Is it ultimately for the betterment of the team? Absolutely, I think it is. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the debut of Jordan Beck. It'll be this game here against the Detroit Tigers. Welcome everybody to Coors Field. The Rockies now 4 games below 500, and in today's game we'll see the debut of Jordan Beck. He'll be DHing in today's matchup, so you won't see him out in the field. Also, Brendan Rodgers has been given a day off. It'll be Ahmed Rosario at second, but there's the man of the hour, number 27, Jordan Beck. Herman Marquez is the man on the mound today, not having a great season. 4.3 ERA, 1.5 whip. Could be a decent starter on another team. I think it's time to move on from him here in Colorado, as he'll throw the first pitch to Miguel Vargas, and it's not even close. This is a really bad Tigers team, and can Marquez lead it off with a strikeout? No, it's like a slow grounder to short. Has to make a pretty quick throw to Tovar, but he does, and that is out number 1. Marquez obviously been with the Rockies for a really long time. Might honestly be the best pitcher in the history of their franchise. It's probably him or Ubaldo Jimenez. They're really the only two that come to mind. And that is pretty sad because he's been like a career average to slightly above average pitcher. It's just hard to be a really good pitcher for the Rockies. It's less hard in MLB The Show. But in real life, it is like impossible to be good at Coors Field. Strike 3 on the third batter of the inning, and Herman Marquez goes 1, 2, 3. The Rockies will face Casey Mize, who has been slightly below average this season. 4.9 ERA, 1.4 whip. Not terrible numbers, though. And here's Francisco Mejia, the new leadoff guy against right-handed pitching, at least temporarily. Grounder onto first is the easiest play ever. That's out number 1. And now it's Ahmed Rosario playing in place of Brendan Rodgers. Normally Ahmed does not play against righties, but today he does. And on the first pitch, he pops this to center. Is it going to get down? No. Center fielder makes a play. That's out number 2. Nolan Jones back to batting third in the lineup. I kind of like him in second when I am actually playing the games. It just seems like it's maybe not simulating super well when he's there at second because he's playing worse. His RBI numbers are way down. It's just a weird combo. He's got such a high OBP. I'm so tempted to bat him first as he takes one on the leg. Now Kiel Fernandez batting fourth against righties on his way to a Rookie of the Year campaign potentially. Got one to hit. Drives it to left center. I don't think it's far enough. Had a good chunk of power, but he hit it to the deepest part of the park. And that is the end of the inning. Swing and a miss from Colt Keith. Strike number 3. That's going to be the first base hit on the day for the Tigers. Verdugo now playing in center was a little weird to see. Makes the play into the infield, and they've got a base runner. And that's a grounder onto Sterling Thompson. Should be a pretty easy double play, and it is. Turning 2 is Thompson, Rosario, and Cohen, a 5-4-3 double play. Out of the inning is Herman Marquez. Barry Cohen now batting 5th. His numbers have been improving steadily while batting out of the 5 spot, so that's good to see. Grounder back up the middle. Is it fast enough to get through? It's fast enough to be mishandled by the shortstop, and I'm assuming that'll count as a base hit for Barry. New nickname unlocked for Barry Cohen, base hit Barry. Oh my goodness, Alex Verdugo. The sound of that one off the bat was insane, and it's a second decker for the outfielder. Alex Verdugo hitting a bomb deep to right after the leadoff single by Barry Cohen. 444 feet, 102 off the bat. Verdugo does not have a ton of power, but blasts that one to right, and it's 2-0 Rockies. And here he is, Jordan Beck, with 1 gone in the inning, making his major league debut. Swings and misses on a nice slider from Casey Mize. He blasts this one into right, and blast is a bit of a strong word. It was decently far into right field, but it's a pop out in his first at-bat. Sterling Thompson still batting in the 9 spot. 242 average is what he's up to, and he's going to bring that up a little bit here with a base hit into left. He'll reach first, base hit for Sterling Thompson. Runner takes off. Mejia looks at the pitch, and that is safe for Sterling Thompson at second. I don't know how he managed that. Bad throw, I guess. Better throw would have definitely gotten him. And pushed into left field from Mejia. That's going to bring Sterling Thompson home pretty easily. Mejia trying to extend to second. What is the AI base running, man? Well, that's going to be the final out of the inning, more than likely, unless I can fleece the AI, which I cannot. Why would the AI tell him to go 2? If you don't know, I have automatic base running turned on. I can control it when I want to, but it makes for kind of funny moments like that. But that was terrible base running from the CPU. There was no way he was making it to second. But 3 runs scored in the inning, 2 of them coming off the Verdugo home run. And Jace Young pops this one way to right field. Can Nolan Jones get there? He can. Man, barely got there, but got there nonetheless. 2 up, 2 down to start the third for Marquez. Been really easy going here in the inning. Ball 1. Right down the middle to Dylan Dingler, which is a hilarious name. Best name in sports. And that is a 1-run home run, a solo home run as they're called. Marquez just left one over the heart of the plate, and it's blasted to right over the tall fence. Now only 3-1 Colorado. Still 2-run lead though. We'll take what we can get. And strikes out looking does Miguel Vargas. But they get one off the Dylan Dingler home run. And Nolan Jones crushes one to right as well. That was a hanging one if I've ever seen it. That's a 3rd decker for Nolan Jones. Oh my God. Hit that one a mile. Nolan Jones blasts it to right. 488, his 11th home run on the season. Feels like I get one with him every single episode. That one absolutely blasted into right field. For the 3rd deck fans, how about that? Solo shot there for Nolan Jones. That was a slider over the dead center part of the plate. Yanquiel Fernandez pops one way up. Catcher should be able to make a play here, and that's going to be the 2nd out of the inning. Barry Cohen will walk on 5 pitches, and that is a runner on for the Rockies with 2 gone. Verdugo blasted one to right his last time up with Barry Cohen on first base, so maybe he can do it again. And that is a grounder onto second. Not an easy play. Verdugo does not beat it out, though. I think maybe if he had like 2 more speed, he would have beat that one out. But it doesn't really matter when you get home runs like that from Nolan Jones. 4-1 Colorado. Grounder onto Sterling Thompson. Jump throw and makes the play a half step ahead of the runner. What a play by Sterling Thompson. That's Gold Glove type stuff from the young fella. Looking like Nolan Arenado out there. Let's see if Jordan Beck can get his first major league hit. This has been a good at-bat for Beck. Counts full, fouled a few off. I want to say this is maybe the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And that is ball 4. Jordan Beck will reach base for the first time in a Rockies uniform. I think you got to be excited about the future of this Rockies team. We've got a bunch of young guys in the system coming up. I think that there are high hopes for the Colorado Rockies in just a few years' time, really. Going to take a little while for everyone to develop and be ready to play at the majors, but we've got the pieces in place. Sterling Thompson, I didn't think he was one of the pieces, but my goodness, he might be. Makes a Gold Glove play in the infield a half inning ago, and now blasts one deep the opposite way and scores 2 runs. His 3rd home run on the season, and the Rockies extend their lead 6-1 now here in the 4th. Lots of runs early on here in Colorado. Herman Marquez is settled in nicely here in the 5th with 1 gone. Has only given up the 1 run today. Looking to keep it that way, hopefully. Could go probably 6 innings if he plays the way he's playing right now. Rounder onto Rosario. And I canceled the throw and still got the out. The throw was about to be errant. That is a little bit cheap, I think. I'll avoid doing that in the future. Like, if I know that the throw is going to fail, I can just cancel it. But that seems like I'm cheating a little bit to me. I don't know. Fast forward a half inning. We're in the top of the 6th. Marquez with 2 gone, but 2 runners on. This will probably be his final inning of work, although I don't know. His pitch count isn't particularly high. And that's a grounder to the right side. Rosario stops it, but no play at first. But it does prevent a run from scoring, so a good diving attempt from Rosario there. We've got a couple arms warming up in the bullpen now, but let's see if Marquez can work his way out of this. Facing off against Colt Keith, who I believe is one of the top prospects in the Tigers farm system in real life. Swing and a miss on the sinker, and Marquez gets out of it with no damage done. 6-1 still Colorado. Tovar walks to lead off the 6th, and now it is Jordan Beck at the plate. Opportunity for what would still be his first base hit of his career. 0 for 1 on the day. Did walk once, though, so he has reached base already. 3-1 count for Jordan Beck. Will he draw another walk? He will. Ball 4, take your base, and now it's first and second for Colorado. Sterling Thompson, 2 for 2 with a single and a home run. Let's see if he can drive in some more runs. Already 2 RBIs on the day. This is pushed into left, and it's definitely not getting down. So no more hits for Sterling Thompson, and the runners will hold it first and second. Mejia pops this one to center. Will Tovar test the arm? No, he will not. Throw into third. That's a very good throw into third. Glad he didn't test the arm, and that's 2 gone now. Not very productive outs there as Ahmed Rosario comes to the plate. And he hits this one to center. Very shallow center. It will not get down. And a good start to the inning. Dies with 2 runners on. That'll end Herman Marquez's day. Here comes Caleb Ferguson, who has been maybe the best reliever we've had all season. We signed 2 Yankee relievers, him and Loaizaga, and one of them, Ferguson, has been the best, and Loaizaga has been maybe the worst. 6 full innings and only 1 earned run for Marquez, though. Really good outing from him. And now it's up to the bullpen to just finish it off. 6-1 lead. Should be plenty. I say that, and now just a couple batters later, Ferguson is in a bit of a pickle. 1 on first, 1 on third against Jace Young. Full count now to Young. Ferguson keeps missing badly with the curveball, and they're just fouling off the fastball over and over again. Let's try the cut fastball. Ferguson's pitch is way high, easy to not swing at for Young. And that's bases juiced now for Sal Stewart. This is not great now for the Rockies, as Ferguson appears to be missing his best stuff. Cannot hit with the curveball right now. It's actually insane. We might need to bring in a new reliever already. It says he's tired. And yeah, we got to bring in somebody new. I'll let him finish this at bat, but he is just missing everything. That is popped up. Verdugo going to get underneath this one. But that is definitely scoring a run, as the runner from third is there in plenty of time, and it's now 6-2 Colorado. We'll give the other former Yankee a shot. Loaizaga will come in. Immediately throws a 100-mile-per-hour fastball right down the barrel. And a sinker lines to right, and getting it back in quickly is Jones. Nobody advances, and Loaizaga get us out of the inning. You'd love to see that, as Cohen cannot spear it. That was a curveball left right down the middle of the plate. It's going to score at least 1. Let's see if the relay is in time at home. It is not. 2 runs come to pass, and it's now 6-4, as Loaizaga, I don't think, was responsible for either of those 2 runs. I think that will count towards Ferguson's total. That one is probably going to get down in right field. Nolan Jones cuts it off, but it's still going to score another runner. And this Rockies bullpen is just blowing it again for its starters. Every time I play the game, the starter seems to play well, and then the bullpen plays awful. Swing and a miss on an awful sinker. Finally gets us out of the inning, but now it's only 6-5 Colorado. We'll bring in Justin Lawrence, who has a 4.79 ERA on the season, to try to set up Jalen Beeks for a save. Popped way up in center. Verdugo underneath it. That'll be the first out in the 8th. That one high and deep to right field, carrying back further and further, but Nolan Jones gets it on the warning track. That's 2 gone in the 8th. Dominic Smith, the last guy, hopefully, that Justin Lawrence will have to face. Grounder on to Cohen. He'll step on the bag, and that'll end the top part of the 8th inning. So now the Rockies bats will have an opportunity to extend the lead for Jalen Beeks to get a save. Strike 3 on Thompson, and that brings us to the 9th inning. Jalen Beeks will come out for the save. Jalen Beeks' stats on the season have dipped a little bit, but still a 1.06 whip is extremely good, and so is a 2.6 ERA. He's been a very, very good reliever for us. I think a better closing pitcher than either of our other two guys were to start the season. Faces Jace Young to start the inning. Strike 3 called, perfectly painted on the corner. A great slider from Jalen Beeks sees the first out. Obviously a home run ties the game. Got to be scared of that. Jalen Beeks. You can just keep it on the ground like that. Rosario fumbles with it a little bit. Should still be in time, and it is. This is why I don't like him in the field too much. He's not a great fielder. Definitely not as good as Brendan Rodgers. 2 gone, and it's Dylan Dingler, who hit a solo shot earlier. It was the only run for a while. This time he grounds onto third for Sterling Thompson. Routine play, and that is a victory for the Colorado Rockies. Herman Marquez had to watch from the sidelines as his bullpen threw the game away, but Jalen Beeks comes up clutch, and it's a victory for Colorado yet again. Jordan Beck did not get a hit, but he did walk twice, so you'll love to see that for OBPs. 3 home runs on the day from the Rockies. 1 from Verdugo, 1 from Thompson, and 1 from Nolan Jones. Herman Marquez, 5 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched, allowing only 1 run. And with that game done, I think that it's time to trade Herman Marquez. He is a quality starting pitcher that could be a 4th or 5th man in a lot of different teams' rotations. Frees up the spot for Chase Dollander. It's time. So here is the trade I'm gonna do. It's with the Blue Jays for Sammy Saldana, B potential reliever, Willie Pinto, a 3rd baseman, not that I need more, and then Carlos Peralta, a C potential center fielder that's already 24. I think maybe Willie Pinto has some potential. Peralta, not really as much, but I looked through the rosters. There's a very few contending teams that need Herman Marquez. He's a 76 overall. He wouldn't even be the 5th guy in most rotations. I think he's the 4th or 5th guy in the Blue Jays rotation, which is crazy because he's our easy number 2 guy in our rotation. So he's maybe not worth as much as I originally had thought he was, but I think he could help the Blue Jays with their starting pitching rotation, and we get some prospects that might turn into something in return. We also free up a ton of money, so we're going to offer this trade. Thank you, Blue Jays. Enjoy Herman Marquez. We gave him one last start. We played that game out. He's no longer a Rocky. Sammy Saldana's true potential, by the way, 84 as a left-handed relief pitcher, which is always good to have more lefties. At 3rd baseman, Willie Pinto, 18 years old, 51 overall with C potential. That is 71. So would be shocking if he ever reached the majors. We also have so many 3rd basemen now. And then that center fielder was Carlos Peralta, and he is straight up awful. Has 73 potential though, so I mean, could amount to something, technically speaking, but he is going to be at Class A for a while. And that means that Chase Dollander is officially a Colorado Rocky, and he will make his debut in this episode. You guys might be happy to learn Yanquiel Fernandez's potential, which was 89, has jumped up to a 90. He's officially A potential as a player. So Chase Dollander's debut will be against the Astros after this 4-game set against Arizona. So let's sim through these. We lose the first game to the Diamondbacks 9-10. We win the next one, and now we have 94 players on the roster. That's right, we had a guy clearing waivers. So we dropped 3 of the 4 games to the Diamondbacks, and now it is time for the debut of Chase Dollander. Feels like it's been forever since we talked about him, and he has made his way up. He played very well at AAA all season, had a sub like 1.2 whip. This is a tough challenge for his first outing, but let's get into it. Chase Dollander, do me proud, buddy. Welcome back to Mile High. We face off against the Houston Astros today in the MLB debut of Chase Dollander, the prospective future ace of the Colorado Rockies, who are still just a touch under 500. I imagine it will only get worse as we've continued to blow up the team. So the first pitch in Dollander's career will go to Kyle Tucker. It'll be a fastball right down the middle that is hit into left center and chased down by Verdugo, out number 1. Ah-Sung Kim is the second man up, traded from the Padres, I want to say, in the offseason to Houston. Here are Dollander's attributes. He's pretty well-rounded. The control has gotten quite high. He needs to work on the walk and home run over 9 more than anything else. Grounder to Ezekiel Tovar at short, and the second out of the day for Dollander. Tons of rookies making their debuts this season. You love to see it if you're a Rockies fan. Like I talked about a couple episodes ago, I want a youth movement here in Colorado. The team needs to be younger, and that's exactly what we've done by bringing up guys like Dollander, Barry Cohen, Yanquiel Fernandez, Jordan Beck. Team's a lot younger than it was before. Remember, by the way, Ezequiel Tovar, I think, is only 23. Very young man. That one might be out of here. I think it is. It's at the wall. Nolan Jones, with his back to the mesh, makes the catch. And it's 3 up, 3 down for Dollander, but those were some hard hit balls. No run support after the first inning for Dollander. We'll get started in the second. Now he faces Jose Altuve. That's a well-placed fastball. Verdugo comes in and will make the grab in center. Out number 1. 4 batters faced, 4 outs for Chase Dollander. Hopefully he can keep this up. Faces Alex Bregman here. That's a first pitch swinging again, and that's out at right field. So it could be 3 pitches, 3 outs for Dollander here in the second. Do we just throw Diaz a high inside fastball, see if he does the same thing? Let's try it. Does not swing, but it's a called strike at the top of the zone. 3-1 count now as Dollander has fallen behind. That's a called strike in the top left corner. That one is right down the middle and then rifled at Barry Cohen, who stabs it out of the air. That's 3 up, 3 down again for Chase Dollander. We advance to the third. Still no runs scored by the Rockies. So Dollander with no run support. Alexis Dominguez gets a piece of this one, hits it to left, and Yanquiel Fernandez does not have to move very far. That's out number 1 in the third. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a way better debut than we saw from John Chirac at AA. That's a really good changeup. And now let's see if Dollander can get the strikeout with the breaking pitch. The slider kind of left it up in the zone. We're going to try it again. Another slider, trying to hit the bottom left part of the plate, but he doesn't swing. That was a decent slider. Count is full for Dollander now. Can he get out of this without giving up a walk? No. Gives up the first walk of his career. It's to Chas McCormick. Jose Abreu now the man at the plate. Dollander, that is right down the middle, but looks like it's more high than it is deep, and Verdugo underneath it. That's out number 2 here in the third. Now back to the top of the order. It's Kyle Tucker, a great fastball from Dollander. That one is crushed. High and deep to right. It wasn't even a bad pitch, just a better piece of hitting, and that is a 2-run shot for Kyle Tucker. Dollander gives up his first base knock, and it happens to go 4 bases. Home run, Kyle Tucker, 2-0 lead for the Astros. Take a look at where that pitch was. I mean, I know it's an elevated fastball, and some hitters really like that, but it's right at the top of the zone. You don't hate that location from Dollander. Just got beat, I guess. That is going to get down in front of Fernandez, who took a step back instead of forward to start. And that's a single for Kim. Now Dollander, 2-out rally maybe going for the Astros. Got to be a little careful. And that is another fastball that's just right down the middle. And Nolan Jones gets this one back in quickly to Sterling Thompson at third. Definitely a little bit of a rally going. And now we're all the way to Jose Altuve batting in the 4 spot. 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. Dollander, can he get out of the scary inning? It was a really good slider. Altuve makes contact though. We're going to go fastball to hopefully the exact same spot. A grounder. Diving play by Tovar, and he gets it to second base, saving a run. You love it from Ezequiel Tovar. That's what he brings to the table. An elite fielder, and he saves a run for Chase Dollander. 2-0 Astros. Still absolutely 0 run support from the Colorado Rockies bats. So it's all up to Dollander to pitch well. Had a bit of a down 3rd inning and losing control of the fastball. That wasn't even close to where I wanted it. And he left a slider hanging over the middle. That's our starting pitchers do this all the time. It's actually ridiculous. Maybe I need to bump up the control slider because, man, oh man, they cannot locate these off-speed pitches. The slider just ends up literally right down the barrel of the strike zone, and that is the 3rd run given up by Dollander. I mean, you could not ask for a pitch more down the middle. Look at that in the bottom left. That slider was just a meatball in the center of the plate. He didn't place a single one of the pitches that at bat well, and he is completely losing control. That one is high and deep to left again, but Fernandez gets there, and that's the first out of the inning. That is another fastball popped to right this time, and Nolan Jones makes a diving attempt, but he can't grab it. This is maybe going to be a triple for the 37 speed player, Alexis Dominguez, and it is. It's a triple for Dominguez. Diving play by Nolan Jones does not pay off. This is so bad for Chase Dollander. Good piece of hitting. I mean, pushed it to opposite field, and Jones can't make the play. Hopefully he's not injured either. Those diving plays end up with a lot of injuries. It wants me to throw the slider. I'm going to throw the slider. Oh my goodness, it's actually right where I wanted it. Left one over the heart of the plate, and it is deep to right center field, but too much underneath it. And that's going to allow another run for the Astros. Now 4 runs given up in 4 innings by Dollander. And this will likely be his last inning of work. So hopefully Abreu, the last batter he has to face. Looked so good through the first 2 innings and then has just completely fallen apart. Yanquiel Fernandez grabs the pop-up, and that is the end of the 4th. So we bring in Loaizaga to relieve for Dollander. Not the best start to his career, but not too bad, as we'll just kind of simulate through the rest of this game. The Astros 10-1 over the Rockies. We got 5 hits the whole day. It was a Verdugo solo shot. That was our only run. Dollander gets credit with the loss. 4 earned runs, 4 innings pitched, with 1 walk and no strikeouts. Yeesh. Well, there's the debut of Dollander. I was saying it looked a lot better than Chirac did at AA, but it ended up being mostly the same, to be honest with you. Scott Schreiber has sustained an injury, broken collarbone. He'll be out for 1 to 2 months. Well, we'll add him to the 60-day IL, and then the Rays have claimed Jaden Hill off of waivers. So now there's more scouting to be done. Here is Orlando Rosales. He has dropped way down our draft board. He's the draft rank 49. He's a left fielder. Yeah, he's just not good with the bat, is he? He's not a good fielder. He's just fast. That's really it. But he has high potential. 86 to 91 potential, but he's going to be low overall, and he opted out of the doctor's exam. Jose Rosales is officially 100% scouted. He has 84 to 99 potential at age 18. He is not ranked on the MLB board. So what my brain is telling me is that he is probably a generational pitcher. If he's ranked this highly, his peak potential is 99. His strikeouts per 9 is just so terrible. His pitch control in the future is not too bad. He doesn't fit the archetype, but if this is a 99 potential guy, I mean, you gotta consider taking him 5th overall. In an ideal world, he would fall down the draft boards so that we could take Rob Kearns at 5th and then take Jose Rosales later. Although at the same time, do you really want to risk losing out on what could be a generational pitching prospect? So let's continue simulating, and the Angels are offering us Michael Lorenzen for Brendan Rodgers. This is an awful trade. Twins beat us in this series. We win the first game, but they win the next 2. And then we lose the first 2 games of the series against the Padres. We've now fallen to 10 games under 500, which makes a lot of sense as the new look roster definitely not as good as it once was. The Rockies win 12 to 1 in the final game against the Padres. So another couple series losses, this one to the Giants and this one to the Reds. Haven't even played the final game against the Reds, but the Rockies definitely fallen apart a bit. Dollander not been good in his first few starts. He went 4 innings, gave up 6 earned runs, has a 7.07 ERA, and gave up 4 walks with no strikeouts. Yeesh. Ariel Amador, by the way, is killing it at AAA right now, batting a 272 with a 321 OBP. He batted 350 during the month of June. I still don't know that he's ready to be called up, but it's kind of now or never to trade Brendan Rodgers. The Rays acquire David Bednar, a closing pitcher that's 93 overall, from the Pirates, and in return, the Pirates get Taj Bradley and Tristan Peters. Seems like a relatively fair trade. I would have wanted a bit more if I was the Pirates, but it is what it is. So during this final week before the draft, we have actually won 3 of the last 4. We're 42 and 52. Definitely not a playoff team, but a team that can teeter close to 500 maybe. I mean, 10 games under isn't super close. And this is actually where I'm going to end today's episode, and we'll start the next episode with the MLB draft. That way I can do the draft and show you the rankings at the end of the month in the same episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do truly appreciate the continued support, and I will see you in the next episode where we'll do the MLB draft.